Hello everyone, Nordic Beast here, and welcome back to the Nidd server. Okay, so I've tried to record this before, but I don't like to do super long videos, so I'm gonna just try to do the highlights here. So, as you notice, I have not been posting in a while on Space Engineers. That's a couple of reasons behind that. Number one, my wife was in the hospital. She's okay, no problems, but the experience was very poor, mostly because of the hospital. So that took one hell of a toll on us. So that mixed with the fact that Space Engineers up until now was being very twitchy and temperamental for various reasons, and then also my DxTari, my recording program, was giving me issues. Turns out for some odd reason it returned all my settings to default, including the codecs that it was recording with. So my recordings were turning out massive. Like a 5-minute video would be like 100 gigs. I mean, it was ridiculous. So I fixed all that, and I can finally record now. Yay! But I have a couple of episodes that I couldn't post. Actually, it was two. It was one in here and one shipyard episode, and I had to scrap them because I would be recording, and then I realized all of a sudden it wasn't, and the files are massive, so whatever, they're gone, I'm sorry. I do have another series I'm going to start soon, and then I also have more Forest to post that I haven't posted yet. So that being said, I'm just talk about what's gone on in here. I did, actually in the Nidd episode I did not post, the server episode, I had a exploration ship I found called the Renaissance, and I ground it down, and it's gone now. So pieces of it were floating away, and Mir contacted me like, is this ship yours? I'm like, you can get rid of that. That's just pieces of it that broke away. So let's see, where do we start? First off, I am going to be building soon. I'm going to be building a new large ship. I was talking about a salvage ship, and I designed a couple, which is what my my shipyard episode was. And this is the one I stuck with. It's called the Ripsaw. In fact, this is the only one that had front-mounted grinders. I love this ship. So, it's got the grinders. It has a rocket launcher for detonating any hazardous material at range, something that might hurt the ship. It's got a camera up here, as you see. It has 2 cargo containers. It has 2 fully upgraded assemblers, 2 Gatlings, 1 large reactor, and it even has a jump drive. So, and it has a connector too for anything you find. You can jump back if you don't want to grind it there. And we have my bridge right down here. So, the upstairs also has a med bay and 2 of the cryopods. So, yep. So at least this ship can, cryo 2 people, but it also has a couple extra seats back here, as you see right there. Yeah, it'll fly through the projection. So yeah, I can't wait to get this thing running. I really love this ship. So I might, which by the way, Anubis's donut is now fully functioning, so I might build it there. We'll see. I do have a new welding chip I am going to be building soon with 4 welders on it, designed a little bit more towards higher thrust to weight ratio, so as it has material, it can, maneuver and actually still be able to handle at a decent rate as it increases in mass from having components. So that's a big thing. Even like the Rosies and my Grinder Girl are very underpowered, and even the Switchblade. Well, the Switchblade, I mean, look at this thing. I mean, it's got what, 2 medium cargo containers and 4 large. So this, which this does function now, but it moves so slow, and it's not even close to fully loaded anymore. So I'm probably going to grind that down soon, but I'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, I will have the Ripsaw soon, as well as the new grinding ship, or I'm sorry, the new welding ship. Next up is the Retro Rocket. So in one of my previous episodes, I talked about what did you want me to do with it. My nephew suggested I mothball it. Mir suggested I sell it, but being as it didn't really have a purpose at the time, I had no way. What was I going to sell it for? Into who, for what? But I am going to gut it, like just the internals in here, and I am going to turn it into a cargo ship. Because, as I said before, Anubis's donut base is now working. So I'm probably going to take out the med bay, probably the gravity generator as well, these seats over here, and just load it with small cargo containers, so that any ship I want to build, I can just fly this out there and build. So, let's see. What else we got here? Oh, yes. So next up is about the Fenris. Really the Fenris and the Hurricane. But with Fenris, I built a raiding ship in a server I can't raid, but I had talked to Anubis about in the original public Nidd server, they had an idea for a PvP area by putting up a beacon. If you're in the radius of the beacon, PvP area. So I was hoping to talk to other Nidd-tubers and see if they'd be interested in that. Even if we weren't on at the same time, we could have bases to raid that you could build. You could have, you could set up, you know, anti-ship mines and, you know, like defense satellites and things like that that you can fight. So anything that you go in there with, you could possibly lose or get destroyed or whatever. I think it would be fun. So it would give us something else to build towards as well, you know, rather than just like, you know, our big ass bases that we have and everything. So just, you know, food for thought. Something I would love to do. Next up, well, actually, first off, this area here, I'm thinking about making a grinding pit. Since it's right next to the conveyors, it would be very easy to hook up. I'm not using this area for anything, so I might put a, like I said, a grinding pit in here. Just put space balls on certain things and drop it in. My biggest issue is small ships. Small ships are so hard to grind down by hand. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a grinding pit to be able to grind down all my extra ships. So, with that being said, I have recently built this. This is the Sparrowhawk. Originally I named it the Gear Falcon. Gear Falcon is the largest of falcon species, which is also a Nordic bird. It's mostly in cold areas, but I didn't feel the name fit. Which, by the way, this is the design that I submitted for this week's Nidd building contest, which was a light fighter contest. This one is slightly different. This one has more gyros, but I'm probably going to cut them out because this is an earlier model. And this one also has script and a panel and all that on the back, which you're not allowed to have in the contest, so I removed it. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same. And minus the 2 gyros, because the one I submitted has 2 gyros, this one has 4. By taking out 2, it actually lightened it a bit, and the gyros are really well placed. They're in the wings here, like right in here, right near the center of mass. So this thing turns like crazy even on 2 gyros, and it's lighter. So it's pretty cool. I really enjoy this fighter. This is by far the best fighter I have ever made. And if any of you guys out there watch some of my older videos, I have made a lot of fighters to date. A lot. So, you know, just keep that in mind. I'm really excited. I can't wait till they release the results of this week's contest. Because, like, as soon as I heard they were making fighters, I gotta submit one. That being said, this was not my original choice. I actually built this one specifically for the fighter contest. This is the Tempest. This features tons of features from my previous fighters all in one. I designed it around 3 principles. 1 were the fighter rules, 2 was practicality, and 3 was style. And, oh, by the way, the fighter rules were a little different. You could have 5 of the large thrusters, so I had a 5th one for reverse right there, which I thought was awesome. And that was part of the downfall of the design, because of the rockets. I also wanted, dearly, 2 rocket launchers. I really wanted to max it out, because you could have 4 Gatlings and 2 rockets. But even when flying straight, dampeners off, sometimes the rockets would just randomly explode and destroy this thruster. For no fucking reason, and it pissed me off so much, and I could not find any place for the rockets to go that were useful, meaning like close to the center of mass, so it was easy to aim and actually hit a target. Also, so that it wouldn't hit the ship, the fighter itself, and still be aesthetically pleasing. I would have just had to remove them completely. The guns I had no issue with, but I did actually have several different layouts for the guns. One where I took the bottom one and put it up here, and another where I took all 4 guns and I put them where the lights are in the engine pods. And that actually looked pretty sweet, but they weren't as focused that way, so I kind of just left them in here. I like them being that close, and they don't look all that bad there. I kind of like them there. I gotta say, I was really disappointed I couldn't use this fighter. It really bummed me out. Oh, and by the way, it runs on one large reactor, which you can access directly, so it doesn't need a jump reactor. Yay! Yeah. So, yeah, that's about it. So, oh, wait, no, wait, one last thing. Fly over this way. Okay, so since I built my Sparrowhawk over there, which, by the way, that one's named Lady in the Dark 3, because I've had 3 so far, obviously, this is the 3rd one, and that's the color scheme I always go for the Lady in the Dark. This was, like, my main getting around fighter for some time, and Anubis always complimented on how much he loved this design. So, Anubis, if you're watching, I'm going to go ahead and gift this to you, and you can use it against, cargo ships, and also, if we do a PvP area, you can always come after me with it. A little incentive. So that's why it's also charging there. It's charging for him, which it should be good now. So as you see, also my storage hangar is kind of full. This here is actually Lady in the Dark 2. Is the nose damaged? Oh, it is missing a block there. No shit. I'll have to fix that. Anyway, this is a redesign of my F-31, and the main difference is the thrusters. It originally had 8 on the side. It had 8 up and 8 down. I cut out most of the thrusters except for down. It still has 8 down, and 4 of them are off at all times except for when landing. I've used it in natural gravity, but this was before the rebalancing and update, so this might actually launch in heavier gravity now. It was taking off in 0.2 to 0.3 G, which is a decent-sized planet for when planets come out. Per 10 kilometers, it's 0.1 G gravity, so that's like a mid-sized planet because they only go up to 120 kilometers wide as at maximum. So this thing could take off on some of the smaller planets. But I mean, I could probably design it better. But I wasn't using it because of the batteries being nerfed a while back, but now they've updated it and it runs again. Same thing with the Wolf. The Wolf is battery powered. I still like my battery powered fighters. They don't run as well now. They still comparatively don't have as much energy or store as much, like, for as long. So I mean, they're still useful, but it still has kind of nerfed my fighter fleet a bit. So I probably will be going with reactors more, not completely, but more. So I'm going to keep this. This is going to stay parked in here. This is my baby. But the Serpent here, I've never used. I'll probably scrap that. My automated cargo ship, I might end up scrapping this too. I don't know, I might make a new design, or maybe that's something I could do with the retro rocket. I could make it more automated. It does have quite a few timers inside it. My single ship here, I don't use this anymore either. It's kind of pointless, so I may scrap this as well. But my drone, I think I will keep. My little drone fighter. I've never used it. I don't really need it. But if we do a PvP area, I may put it in there as like a base defense area, or base defense fighter, something like that. And then also my Z-Gub down here, as you see parked here, is my personal Z-Gub. I built one for Anubis, which he did a video recently talking about it, and apparently Boris was flying it everywhere, and he mentioned that. So I built one for Boris. I don't think Boris has found it yet. So Boris, if you're watching, go to your base. You have a Z-Gub. You have your own motorcycle bike thing, and it's awesome. So go enjoy. So once I get my grinding pit all set up, I'm gonna go ahead and clear out my storage back here, and my main hangar, I'm going to clear that out. I'm going to gift that fighter out. And, yeah, get everything running again. Get my new welding ship up. And then I'll have my my new exploration ship running. But all my large ships I'm going to be keeping. But hopefully if we do a PvP area, I will build a PvP base. And I will probably put these two out there, the Hurricane and the Fenris. Especially once I get the Ripsaw built, because currently the Hurricane is my only ship that can carry multiple people and jump. So the my other two jump, the Fenris and my longboat, both of them are only one person. So, and the Manta, this is probably the best grinding ship I've got. So I'm definitely going to keep that. I will probably get rid of Grinder Girl. Once I get my new welding ship up, I'm going to get rid of pretty much all these ships. My Rosies, my Grinder Girl, and Super Switchblade. The King Cutter here, definitely going to keep. I found this more than a little useful. I actually really enjoy going out and mining with this thing. I really, really like it. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on lately. That's my plans here in the future. At least on the server. I will be doing a Welcome to the Shipyard soon with the other salvage barges that I worked on. And, that's actually another thing. I'm working on a very big ship right now. It doesn't have a form yet, but I designed laser antenna guided missiles that I want to launch from a ship. And it works. I've done it before. My problem had been when you launch a laser antenna guided missile, I didn't want an antenna on it, like a normal antenna, so because of that I can't see GPS coordinates and I can't see enemy antennas. What I found out is the ship you launch it from, if that has an antenna on it, then you can sorry, that was my microphone. Sorry about that. You can still see enemy antennas when you're remote controlling the missile. And the missile I designed only had like 5 warheads in it, and it still almost blew one of my ships in half. That was built out of heavy armor. The big thing about it is they're still interceptable. You know, if they're able to get through. The way I'm going to redesign it, currently it uses all light armor. I'm just going to redesign the nose cap so that it has a heavy armor nose cap to really help reinforce it. And also, when it launches, it's going to use a timer block, because the missiles are designed, but I haven't done all the systems in yet. When you turn it on, it's going to unmerge block, and then instantly turn on its 4 rear thrusters, and off it goes. And then it's immediately, using timer, going to try to connect the laser antenna. So as it's flying away, it's trying to connect. Once it connects, you can go ahead and, you know, grab onto the missile and guide it to where you're going. That being said, this ship is also going to have a designed manned turret with twin rocket launchers for a large ship, and then it's going to also be merged block. So it's going to use advanced rotor with a merge block. So when it's not in use, it merges to the ship. And then when you do want to use it, you unmerge it and then you can maneuver it. It is also going to have a rail cannon built into the nose of the ship, which I have a design for. And currently it's only like a torpedo launcher, so you use like a space ball to launch whatever. And it's pretty good size. It's a decent design, but the big problem with that is, again, it's interceptable. You build it, you weld it up right there, you launch it, off it goes. Enemy defenses can still intercept it. If you use a gravity cannon that launches rocks, a lot of rocks, it's less... Well, it's not interceptable at all. And if you can get it like... if you guys know Brad Fusion, he's another YouTuber, he's an Australian... Oh, balls! Oh no! Oh no! He made a really awesome cannon, a gravity cannon, that's just amazing. Wow, I can't believe I'm so low on energy. There we go. Check it out. It's awesome. Just look up Brad Fusion. It's PH for Fusion. Like I said, another Australian YouTuber. This cannon is awesome. It shoots out debris right in front of the cannon, clumps it together, and then uses the gravity to launch it forward and pokes a huge hole in just about anything. So I was thinking about wanting to do something like that, but it's complicated. Well, a welding merge block torpedo launcher is not complicated. So I'm kind of stuck, you know. Do I want something that's complicated and with more parts to break, or do I want something less complicated that's, you know, not as likely to work? Especially with, you know, having a missile launch system. So I am designing a big ship with rail cannon, or slash torpedo launcher, whatever. I was thinking about possibly doing both. Long-range missile system, manned turreted rockets that would be very powerful when in use. And then last, I'm thinking of redesigning my retro rocket, not in here, because again, this one's going to be a cargo ship, as an exploration ship to be able to hook up to this big mothership. So this will be shut off, but it'll also be like a transport slash exploration. So this will be like, once the big battleship has shown up, you use this thing to get around. You can scout ahead, you can use it for transporting cargo, because it does have some cargo space currently. Which actually, kind of think of it, well, no. Well, maybe. I don't know. Just those small ones might be enough to build certain ships. I might not need to add anything. We'll see. We'll see. So, yeah, that'll be coming up in my upcoming Welcome to the Shipyard. I figured I'd talk about it now because I have the parts to it. I haven't built the ship yet. Lord Wiseman was talking about helping me with it, and we did work on it a little bit, but I was trying to explain to him the way I tend to build ships like that. You build the parts first. You build the things you need for the ship first. And actually, originally I was going to do, like, vertical launch tubes, like, that were airtight, like using airtight doors to launch it. And he was like, why don't you just have them external? I'm like, well, I wanted them protected. But, you know what? I think he's right. So, Wiseman, I give you credit on that. You were correct. So, I'm probably going to have the missiles external, but I might have, like, armored shielding around it. Like, just big armor plating covering the actual missiles. So the missiles can launch from under it. You'll see once the design is complete. So, the idea is, basically, I want a very long-range support ship. A big long-range support ship. But something that's still practical and usable. Alright, I have rambled on long enough yet again, so if you guys enjoy the series, please hit the subscribe button. If you like the episode, hit the like button, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.